We continue now with Tennyson, but before we go further to other poems, I will share with you a small fragment of another wonderful disc I was able to make at the Princeton University Library in here. And what we have in there actually is a great deal of detail about Tennyson himself by his grandson. What he looked like, what his library was, what he did every day, and how he wrote. And what thing is quite interesting in here is that Tennyson was very musical in his mind when he wrote poetry. He wrote poetry almost like melodies in places. And I will tell you more about that later, and that's very important. But what I will do now is play you some fragments of this disc that I have here, and we will play that for you on this Alltech Lansing so that you will be able to hear it. So we'll turn the Lansing on, and then once it starts, and it's loading now, once it starts, we'll let you hear a little bit about it. So let's see what happens. Are we ready?
Powering on. Welcome to Alltech Lansing.
Broke down over when he was reading it aloud, and which is about a farmer's wife and old age.
And Willie, my eldest born, is gone, you say, little Anne. Ruddy and white and strong in his legs, he looks like a man. And Willie's wife is she never was overwise, never the wife for Willie. He wouldn't take my advice. For Annie, you see, her father was not the man to save, hadn't a head to manage, and drank himself into his grave. Pretty enough, very pretty. But I was against it for one. But he wouldn't hear me. And Willie, you say, is gone. Willie, my beauty, my eldest born, the flower of the flock. Never a man could fling him, for Willie stood like a rock. Here's a leg for a babe of a week, says doctor, and he would be bound there was not his like that year in 20 parishes round. Strong of his hands and strong in his legs, but still of his tongue. I ought to have gone before him. I wonder he went so young. I cannot cry for him, Annie. I have not long to stay. Perhaps I shall see him the sooner, for he lived far away. Why do you look at me, Annie? You think I am hard and cold, but all my children have gone before me. I am so old. I cannot weep for Willie, nor can I weep for the rest. Only at your age, Annie, I could have wept with the best. For I remember the quarrel I had with your father, my dear, all for a slanderous story that cost me many a tear. I mean your grandfather, Annie. It cost me a world of woe. 70 years ago, my darling, 70 years ago. For Jenny, my cousin, had come to the place, and I knew right well that Jenny had tripped in her time. I knew, but I would not tell. And she'd have been coming and slandering me, the bish little liar. But the tongue is a fire, as you know, my dear. The tongue is a fire. And Willie had not been down to the farm for a week and a day. And all things looked half dead, though it was the middle of May. Jenny, to slander me, who knew what Jenny had been. But soiling another, Annie, will never make oneself clean. And I cried myself well-nigh blind. And all of an evening late, I climbed to the top of the garth and stood by the road at the gate. The moon, like a rick on fire, was rising over the dale, and what, in the bush beside me chirruped the nightingale.
We will continue with this soon.